So this morning on March 27th, 2026, corrupt drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs sent his violent low IQ thug officers to my workplace to set up a fake call to attempt to harass and intimidate me again. Obviously they know specifically where I work, and they've been sending these violent steroid-injected thugs to follow me wherever I go, parking outside of grocery stores and waiting for me to exit. And today they sent 3 cars to pull up and basically do a SWAT, not coming in here, but going into basically setting up a fake call with a community-based agent to justify having them come in. So that's drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs sending his officers to attempt to harass and intimidate me as I'm simply at my workplace. Not only showing up to stalk and harass me as I go to grocery stores, Freemason Eric Stubbs is also sending his officers to set up fake calls to harass me at my workplace. The fake calls are orchestrated through community-based agents who work with the police, and it's being done to terrorize and harass me while I'm at my job. So we're going to put more footage of drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs, his face online, and drug trafficking Freemason thug Michael Duheme online, Michael Duheme of the RCMP. These criminals continue to send officers to harass, intimidate, and stalk me, harassing me at my job, at my workplace. This is being done again to send a message of threatening and intimidation, which they've been doing for 5 years everywhere I've worked, including in Toronto. That's the drug trafficking Freemason Ottawa police, who routinely set up fake calls, who set up fake crime scenes, who stage fake events with the media, who traffic narcotics, and who terrorize and harass people who speak the truth. So again, I'm just reiterating this here. Drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs has again sent his armed thugs to harass me at my workplace this morning, and every time drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs sends his armed thugs to attempt to harass and intimidate me by setting up fake calls at my workplace, I will put the picture of drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs in the thumbnail of the video and do a voiceover talking about his harassment, abuse, and intimidation. So again, he sent 3 cars to show up for nothing because there are no crimes that actually occur here. And so to do this, they use these deceitful methods where they have community-based agents calling in fake calls just so they can show up here to harass and intimidate me. So these thugs are continually showing up wherever I go. And that's Eric Stubbs, the drug trafficking Freemason who facilitates the distribution of narcotics, whose criminal activities are covered up by the Canadian media, including CTV News, who cover up his involvement in crimes, his abuses of law-abiding citizens, him using his officers to stalk, harass, intimidate, and threaten law-abiding citizens by following me literally everywhere I go, harassing me as I go to get groceries, and showing up again today at my workplace. So CSIS Director Dan Rogers and drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs and drug trafficking Freemason RCMP Commissioner Michael Duheme continue to send police officers. Tonight, Eric Stubbs sent his officers to show up at the property for all of less than 2 to 3 minutes for a fake call, just to show up to harass me and to park next to my workplace to harass me. And drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs has been sending his officers to do these same things to harass and terrorize me because of my channel, where I document the activities of the stalking and harassment of his officers and of people associated with CSIS. Eric Stubbs and the Ottawapolice have an elaborate operation where they work with all kinds of people to cover up and ensure that drugs can flow freely throughout the city. And so every time Eric Stubbs sends people to try to intimidate me, we'll put his face right in the thumbnail. We'll do a video talking about him, his abuses of basic rights and freedoms, his disgraceful lies that he's using right now to attempt to have social media platforms turn over information of citizens. And so every time drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs sends his steroided thugs to attempt to harass me and intimidate me, we'll put his face online. And feel free to share this video and share the face of drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs, who facilitates the distribution of narcotics, who works with gangs such as the Hells Angels, Satan's Choice, and these violent criminal biker gangs. Many of his Freemason officers are members of those gangs, as you can tell by their tattoos that they have all over their fake steroid-injected bodies, covered with satanic symbols. So they kind of moonlight in those, when they're off duty in those positions, also ensuring that the drug trade runs smoothly, and conduct, just generally participating in violent activities, terrorizing people. And so, again, drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs has sent his Gestapo goons to attempt to intimidate me today. And we're going to be putting his face online, and I'm going to upload a number of videos talking about this criminal again, because every time he tries to intimidate me, we will put up more videos, because that's what he's trying to do, is to terrorize me and intimidate me. As you can see in the recent videos, he's continually sending officers to harass me as I go to get groceries. And so the officers that Eric Stubbs has sent, we're not dealing with anything at all. They were just sent to show up to harass me at my workplace. Eric Stubbs is involved in the distribution of narcotics. He has all sorts of people around Rideau Center and down near the Byward Market who work in this drug running operation, who the police protect. And you can see a number of videos with these people operating right out in the open, selling drugs in areas where the police are always present. So that could only happen if the police are involved in these activities. So once again, we'll be putting a lot more videos about Eric Stubbs and about Michael Duheme and Dan Rogers of CSIS and their involvement in continually terrorizing me for speaking the truth about them. So just to reiterate, the continued threatening harassment and attempts to intimidate me, even as I go to buy groceries, by corrupt drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs and his violent low IQ thug Freemason officers, who again appeared to harass me at my job, setting up a fake call so they could just sit outside doing nothing, parked in their vehicles just to harass and intimidate me, to try to provoke some angry response, which I did not give them. So that is today. The date is March 27th, 2026. Freemason criminal Eric Stubbs continues to send his officers to harass me, stalk me, intimidate me everywhere I go, showing up to harass and intimidate me at my workplace. Because Eric Stubbs doesn't like the videos I've posted, and he knows that my videos speak the truth about his officers being involved in the distribution of narcotics, being connected to organized crime, staging fake events such as the staged Parliament Hill attack, which his officers actively took part in, alongside the media to deceive the public. And these people are criminals, they're violent, dangerous thugs, and they continue to harass me and stalk me wherever I go. And they work with community-based agents who set up these fake calls to get them to come to harass me at my workplace. So the violent psychopath thugs with the Ottawapolice tell these people to make the fake calls so they can show up to harass me. And they're hoping to get some sort of response where I say something to them that can be, where they can lie or do some sort of gaslighting. So again, I try to minimize any reaction with them and just let them set up their fake calls and then document them. So I have recordings of the thugs who Eric Stubbs sent to harass me today saved. And, I'm not going to put that online yet because there are privacy issues when I'm at work. But I have it all saved, so one day in the not-too-distant future, I'm going to put all these incidents that they've set up to harass me at my workplace online, put the officers' faces in the thumbnails, and always put Eric Stubbs' creepy face in the thumbnail as well, as he continues to harass people, lie about literally everything he does, facilitate the distribution of narcotics, terrorize and harass law-abiding citizens, working with violent, criminal, murderous, drug-dealing biker gangs. And his officers, of course, covered in satanic, Kabbalistic tattoos, just a disgrace to their positions. All criminals, liars, abusive psychopaths, and just continuing their harassment. So again, Eric Stubbs, the drug trafficking Freemason, sending his officers to harass me at my workplace. And just to reaffirm, drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs is a criminal, a coward, a disgrace to his profession, an embarrassment to any sort of public service position. He is a psychopath, and he has no business being in any type of position like this. And just because I put up videos speaking the truth about his organization, which he cannot refute, he has no other option to resort to these petty, childish bullying tactics to harass me at my job. And every time Eric Stubbs and Freemasons Daniel Rogers and criminal Michael Duheme do things like this, we'll put more videos with their faces online talking about exactly what they're involved in. And I've got all the footage saved, you scumbag Eric Stubbs. So I've got all the footage of your officers saved. So when there comes a time down the road when these privacy issues don't come into play, I'm going to be uploading all of it, and we'll put your face online next to these thugs who you've sent again. Okay, Eric Stubbs? Just so you know that. And this is the way lying, dishonest, dishonorable, deceitful Freemasons have to respond when they're called out with proof of their lies and criminal behavior. They just try to double down with more bullying and more harassment. And so we'll document that every time. And every time they try to double down with more bullying and harassment, we'll put more videos out exposing them. And why won't drug trafficking Freemason Eric Stubbs or drug trafficking Freemasons Dan Rogers or Michael Duheme, why won't they come out and speak openly about the ideology of the Kabbalah that them and their organizations so freely promote, within the Masonic lodges as well, with police officers wearing those Kabbalah red string bracelets. You've got, of course, members of the RCMP wearing those as well. Why don't they come out and tell you exactly what it is? Well, because they lie about everything they do, and they're deceitful, devious, criminal Freemasons. And so, naturally, they're not going to tell you what that's all about, because that's where the ideology for the changing of the gender of children comes from. The sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, and of course Hermeticism and the Baphomet, and the promotion of the androgynous goat within the Masonic lodges. Now that doesn't get promoted as much at the lower levels, but at the higher levels where these criminals operate, that is promoted. So again, it's nothing but lies from these people. They're duplicitous psychopaths who have one face that they show when they're in front of the media, lying in front of the cameras, and another face that they have behind the scenes and behind closed doors, where they promote these criminal agendas that involve child abuse, changing the genders of children. That's all directly from the Kabbalah, and you can look directly at some of these teachings in their writings and find the clear connection between this. So why won't they come out and talk about that? I'm going to talk about that and their involvement in it in a lot of future videos, that's for sure. So that's another subject that we'll delve into that goes more into the criminality that these psychopaths are involved in behind the scenes.